Whovians of the channel, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reacts. Two reacts, well, not two reacts, but I've recorded two reacts in one day. And I should be recording Batman Arkham Knight, but I'll get to that later. At the end of this video. But yeah, the last reacts video I did was about a person. This is the same channel I'm on watching, and it's about Doctor Who season 4. And I don't. Oh, I gotta say this right now, guys. If I see any negative things about Series 4, I will flip. I will pause and start ranting about this. So, yeah, I will start ranting to this guy, and all my previous statements. I even said it in my last video with the Thunderbirds. When at the end of it, when I seen this, I said if he blatantly trashes season 4 of Doctor Who, because season 4 of Doctor Who was peak Doctor Who. That and series 3, to be quite fact, all 4 seasons that when they came back with Russell. So if he trashes this, I'm trashing him through YouTube. So, and if YouTube decides that this is bullying, it's not bullying. It's my honest opinion about him. It's what he's doing to people's favourite programs. Everyone's favourite programs. Doctor Who's everyone's favourite program. Thunderbirds is everyone's favourite program. But enough yip yapping. Let's watch the video about Doctor Who season 4. His.
David Tennant returns as the Doctor for his third series, a year that he'd always intended would be his final in the role. Just like the time I said I would only order 3 pizzas, and that's it.
I'm so sorry, but you've got to try.
But before you know it, you're tucking into 5 calzones spread out over a year, ending with the end of Pizza Part 2. But we are getting ahead of ourselves.
Hi, it's you!
We have another new companion and more guest stars that you could comfortably
Well,
fit
it's
into
not
a
a new
minibus on a day trip to see the 8th.
Right, I'm just going to stop you right there. It's not a new companion, it's a returning companion from Series 3. Well, end of Series 2, the start of Series 3 with the Runaway Bride. Catherine Tate played Donna Noble, made her appearance in the Runaway Bride. The Doctor did ask her to come with her, but she didn't. Because she had to deal with what happened with her. Because if anyone hasn't seen Doctor Who and has seen the season 2 Christmas special, Doctor is grieving the loss of Rose, because if you didn't know about Rose, that's a whole other kind of worms right there. Doctor regenerated after Doctor Who came back, because of the actor being both the actor and one of the cast crew members were having a yippee yappy. We're basically arguing, and he didn't want to return to the second season, so he left. Then it became David Tennant, everyone's favourite Doctor, my favourite Doctor, and yeah, after the end of his first season, Billie Piper, who played Rose from Series 1, left at the end of Series 2, but the way that the Doctor was grieving, it felt like he just lost someone who got killed. But she wasn't killed. She was just lost to a parallel universe, which came back in this season. And so in the Christmas special, Donna is teleported up to the TARDIS for some unknown reason. But it turns out it was the Arachnos, like a giant red spider, which had the properties of Huon particles, if I remember. So this is me being a random Doctor Who nerd now. This is when the nerdness of Doctor Who comes in. Yeah. Apparently someone in our workplace that she was working with, she was working at HM something, and someone was spiking her with Huon particles in our coffee. So yeah, and that's how she boarded the TARDIS, because obviously the TARDIS uses Huon particles as well, so yeah. If one Huon particles is say if I take 12 Sonic and this glasses holder, if one Huon particle is moving and the other, the other one starts activating and bang, magnetized. That's an easy way of saying what's human particles. So she left because the person that she was marrying was the one that spiked out with the human particles who was working with Arachnos, and he got killed. She got the Arachnos got killed, and yeah, Doctor saved the day, but drained the Thames. Funny bit at the end, he drained the Thames. But yeah, so she left. Doctor whizzed on. He had a new companion for series 3. So you would say for series, if he did series 3, new companion, I would agree with you. But when you said new companion, it's not a new companion. It is clearly a companion who's came back.
Wonder of the world, Milton Keynes Roundabouts. Doctor Who Series 4.
I haven't even started yet, and he was already making an error.
Dear God, your hard work, Jan. Yeah, who are you?
The year was 2008. There was the great financial crisis. Shia LaBeouf, Coldplay, but look, things weren't all bad. Doctor Who had reached a popularity unheard of since the early 1980s. The show's continuing success has to be chalked up to the combination of star David Tennant and showrunner Russell T Davies. As would become standard procedure for Doctor Who's head writer, Davies would write the bulk of the scripts and would admit to having rewritten, polished or edited most of the scripts by other writers. Hey baby, it's his show. The relaunched series' 4th year and the third to star David Tennant was imagined to be the last full series for both, but Davies and Tennant would hang around for just a bit longer.
You can stop now. I was there for that bit.
When we covered series 3, there were 1 or 2 big names, or soon to be famous faces, most of Martha's family. But series 4 was full of big names, soon to be stars, and a fair few people who'd appeared in Doctor Who before. We'll try to point them out where we can, if A, we can remember, B, we can be asked to. There is also an option C, but I can't remember to be asked to tell you what it is. As was the style at the time, our story begins in 2007, but not with that year's Christmas special, but the specially shot sketch for the BBC's annual fundraising telethon, Children in Need. David Tennant's favourite Doctor, right. Peter Davison, turns up, and we have a few charming moments between the 5th and the 10th Doctors.
And then I was you. And I was all dashing about and playing cricket, and my voice going all squeaky when I shouted. I still do that.
I can't speak for casual UK viewers, but I'm just running this up the flagpole and seeing if a crow makes off with it. Did mainstream UK viewers of Britain's annual fundraising telethon Children in Need think, oh blimey, it's the 5th Doctor, when Peter Davison appeared? I mean, for me, he was the first Doctor that I saw from the very beginning, but realistically, out of all of the classic series Doctors, Davison has had lead roles in more series than any other Doctor. A Very Peculiar Practice, At Home with the Braithwaites, or that show where he has his arm up a cow's bum. Campion. I think I may have needed to proofread that last sentence just a little bit better. But look, he was still my Doctor, or at least one of my 26 favourite screen-used Doctors.
You've changed the desktop theme, haven't you? What's this one? Coral?
Voyage of the Dam is a riff on the Poseidon Adventure, mixed in with a teeny tiny bit of the 1973 movie Westworld. And then it's sprinkled with so much of RTD's magic dust to make all of the disparate elements come together. It's at least not linked to the 70s film of the exact same name, which is a relief because that one sounds a mite depressing.
What?
The Titanic turns out to be an alien space liner. Apparently the name was available to be used as a ship for 2100 unfathomable reasons.
It was chosen as the most famous vessel of the planet Earth.
Did they tell you why it was famous?
The giant ship full of aliens swings past Earth at Christmas, so half a dozen of them can beam down to Earth for a major gawping session. It's Christmas and London is almost deserted, apart from this guy.
Okay,
it's Wilf.
that's funny.
The place is a ghost town, but on the plus side, the previous 2 Christmases where aliens caused untold grief has made parking that little bit easier.
And it smells.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give him that.
But
I'll give him points for that.
Going, and the ship's captain has been paid to, well, cause the ship to crash into Earth. The ship is damaged.
Right. Second era now. This is the second era. Second era is that when he said that the ship's captain is paid to deliberately crash the ship. No. Wasn't paid to crash the ship deliberately by Max Capricorn of Capricorn, whatever it's called. I can't remember what he is. It's a long thing. There was a long gag in that episode as well, but he wasn't. No, he deliberately tried to crash a ship because he was too old. He was at the age where they were, I think it was Stowe, I think it was. They were forcing older folk to retire with a good pension and blah 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 blah. Right? He didn't want to take it. He couldn't leave the ship because people on ships, boat ships, water, spaceships, and that, they can't leave their ships. Look at what happened with the 60th. David's doctor, the 14th Doctor, didn't want to leave TARDIS because it would hurt. And look what Nucci's Doctor did. It multiplied the TARDIS so David could starve his TARDIS. So yeah, that's the second one. That's the second one. You're getting 3 strikes, mate. And you're already on your second strike, mate.
Beyond repair, and the Doctor has to lead a group of survivors to, well, safety. Well, I guess, because most of them die. They're pursued by the ship's robotic hosts, who are crucially not the same as the robots of death, since that would require the BBC to pay Chris Boucher. Instead, they're other robots of death. They're also not angels, since that would require the BBC to pay Stephen Moffat. So, look, they're just robots who have been reprogrammed to kill the passengers.
They're robot angels, okay? They're called the host. End of.
Kill.
Of the survivors, there's the nasty rich guy, the sweet couple who want a trip on the
Nasty rich
Titanic.
guy, aye.
There's Banacafalata.
Look, can I just call you?
Right, I'm going back again.
Ship.
Information.
Right.
Kill.
Of the survivors, there's the nasty
Of the
rich
survivors,
guy, the sweet
right.
couple who want.
Right. Here's where it gets confusing, right now. If he's going to touch on a bit of the episode where, if you haven't seen the Voyages, these two die. He falls off, and then she falls after him because of the host attacking and that. The nasty rich guy, yes, he is truly right. The nasty rich guy survives. The Doctor survives. But they don't. So I don't know if he's just saying it right now, like of the survivors of the episode. That's another strike now. So I am now in rant mode now. So I'm gonna rant at every possible moment if he gets anything possibly wrong out of this, because I know Series 4 by heart. Seen it multiple
Trip on the
times.
Titanic. There's Banacafalata.
So yeah.
Look, can I just call you Banner? It's going to save a lot of time.
No, Banacathalata.
And the world's second worst tour guide, Mr. Copper, whose grasp
The
of
second
earth
worst
is about
tour
as
guide,
strong
yeah,
as
that's
Uncle
true.
Regg's command of accountancy laws, which, to cut a long story short, with good behaviour, he'll be out in 3 years.
The people of UK go to war.
But to be quite fair, he didn't get caught. He just walked away with a car that's got like £1 million or something.
The country of Turkey.
So he's got like a shit ton
They
of money.
then eat the Turkey people for Christmas dinner.
Voyage of the Damned is frothy, silly, has pathos and drama. It's a fairly solid and fun, crowd-pleasing Christmas special.
Yeah,
Made
it was a
memorable
fun, pleasing
by the
Christmas
cast,
special.
which includes
when
an
I first watched
enjoyable
it.
acting performance from Kylie Minogue as Astrid. Now there's a sentence I never thought I'd say in relation to Doctor Who.
And of course, yeah, the typical.
Russell Tovey pops up, as does well-known Geoffrey Palmer, who funnily enough did a few appearances in Doctor Who before. And the voice of the Queen was Jessica Martin, who again was in Doctor Who before. And Clive Swift, who'd done Doctor Who before. And Bernard Cribbins, who was again in Doctor Who, but in one of the 1960s feature films. We'll talk more of Wilf in a bit.
Yeah. Wow, I did not know that. I didn't know the Captain was in Doctor Who before. I didn't know there was another person that was in Doctor Who before as well. I did not know that. So, props to that. Of course, I know that Burning Crimson was in Doctor Who before. He was in the 1960s film with
Looking
Peter
back to
Cushing.
Kylie Minogue, well,
Which
why not?
RIP
Initially, there was a
of
chance that
Bernard
Dennis
Cribbins.
Hopper might appear in the special, which, unless he's done a spectacularly good impression of Geoffrey Palmer, obviously didn't happen. And then Kylie Minogue expressed an interest in appearing in a Doctor Who. I mean, she wasn't keen on having to give up 3 or 4 weeks needed to film, but things worked
Well,
out.
to be quite
Kylie Minogue's
fair,
Astrid
she
Beth
didn't
makes a
really.
fantastic
She wasn't
companion.
really saying that. Oh, I want to be in Doctor Who. It was more her. I think it was one of her agents. I think. Emailed Phil. I think it was Phil Coulson, one of the
There's a spurious link between Doctor Who
exclusive
and Kylie.
producers,
In the late
whatever it's
80s,
called.
around the time she was
Executive
known as being an actress,
producer, there we
she
go.
was in Neighbours. There was a story
But yeah,
going around
she,
in Australian media that the
her-
ratings for certain
one of
TV
our
programs were not
agents was like,
particularly
"Yeah,
accurate.
we'll ask
Back when
Kylie."
households
They asked
participating in
Kylie, she
TV
was like,
rating surveys had to fill in a book. Apparently, some people were embarrassed by the idea of some people knowing just exactly how much they watched Doctor Who and Neighbours and would instead say they watched something else like the evening news. Also, the Daleks are big fans of Kylie.
It's a little gag with Kylie Minogue. That's... He does it.
Finally, we
He
reached
does it
the
again.
fourth series, which would be broadcast in 2008. Series 4, of course, introduced a new companion, or more accurately, reintroduced Donna Noble.
There we go.
Travel
Okay,
with
so
the Doctor
you're
for the next
saying
13
more
episodes.
accurately, reintroduced. There we go. So I take back my statement. I take back that strike. The strike going with the
original
companion,
plan
the new
was that
companion.
after
Yeah.
decades
So
of casting
he's still on
around
strike one though.
20-somethings, the time was ripe for a slightly older companion, specifically for this season, a woman in her 30s, probably named Penny, and probably a northerner, basically like Donna. At the
Yes, that is true. That is also true. He's done his homework actually for once. Not like with Thunderbirds, but I'll let that slide. But yeah, yeah. Originally, they weren't gonna have Donna back. She was only gonna be like a one-time thing in Doctor Who. They were gonna have a new companion called Penny. He was the northerner, like same like Donna, really. But I think Russell was looking at it, and it's like, that's Donna. Just have Donna back then.
time, Catherine Tate's career was doing very nicely, thank you very much. Russell T Davies thought there really wasn't much point in asking her whether she could commit to a whole series. He had planned for Donna to show up in his big season finale. In the meantime, Russell T Davies pushed on with fleshing out the character of Penny.
Don't get all chippy with me, Vera Duckworth. Pop your clogs on and go pig whipping.
Of course, you don't get anything if you don't ask, and as it turned out, Catherine Tate was really keen on joining the series. After
she
the
was
actress
really
signed
keen.
on for the role, the storylines planned for Penny were reformatted to suit Donna Noble.
I don't know, it's all sort of... I don't know what the word is.
Since her abortive nuptials, Donna had become caught up in investigating strange goings-on. I mean, I once had to collect everybody in the drawing room to discover the culprit of a mystery that had been plaguing the household. The incredible amount of toilet paper that we were going through after a barbecue. Look, I know it was you, Granny Irene. I mean, that was the reason cited by her defense counsel in the subsequent court case regarding the assault with the supersized economy pack of Costco toilet tissue.
Oh, no, we're not married.
We're so not married.
Never.
Never ever.
Donna is loud, opinionated, and for once not interested in the Doctor in any other way other than as a travelling companion.
Yeah.
Stop it.
It's more like them two are more like pals, like brother and sister, and pals.
Investigating the
More
same
likely.
suspicious company, but somehow
So,
managing
yeah.
to miss each other in a
They
vaguely
managed to miss
comedic
each other in
way.
the first
Adipose
episode,
is
which
a
was really
miracle
funny
weight loss
as
drug,
well.
like Ozempic,
I
except
thought like
here
David,
we have
like the Doctor
mounds of
would move around and say,
blubber-fueled
Donna?
Funko Pops
But
popping
no.
out of people's stomachs. Aliens are using the unwanted
Little
fat
Funko
from people
Pops,
wanting
they're
to lose
called the
weight to
adipose.
reproduce. Aliens from a planet where Diet Coke is banned. The
Diet
concept
Coke is
of lipo
banned.
aliens is cute and yet horrific, but probably due to the time slot skews
Oh
towards
my
cute,
God.
with some CG that really detracts from the concept.
What do you mean the CG?
Sarah Lancashire was the episode's villain, a fat-napping super nanny.
Fat napping
Originally
super
Donna's
nanny.
father and her
Basically,
mother
yeah.
Sylvia were to be featured, as they had in The Runaway Bride. But actor Howard Atfield's poor health meant he wouldn't be able to continue working on the series. The character was tweaked, and Bernard Cribben's
There we go,
character
yeah,
from
yeah,
Voyage of the
yeah.
Damned became Donna's
Originally,
grandfather,
Donna's father was
Wilf.
supposed to come back, but the actor that played Donna's father passed away.
Fires of
So obviously
Pompeii sees the
they
Doctor
wrote
and Donna
in
arrive
Bernard
in the
Cribbins
ancient
coming
town
back,
the day before the
and
local
that-
mountain becomes
that's-
a volcano that will
that's why
famously
everyone
destroy
loved
the town.
Bernard
I mean,
Cribbins
that's a
coming
hotel
back in Doctor Who
reservation
because
that
they
you'd
thought, oh
love to
yes,
cancel and be
it's the
happy
guy that
about
was in the
wearing
Christmas
bullshit
special not that long
stocking
ago.
feet. There's more to the
And we
story
thought,
as
oh
there are
yes,
people who seem to know a lot about
he's
the
back.
Doctor and Donna,
Wilfred Mott
a
is
race
back.
of fiery aliens,
And yeah,
local cult members are turning to stone, which I suppose does underscore the importance of moisturising.
How many people died?
20,000.
Donna is determined to save the townspeople, while the Doctor has to get her to understand the limits of time travel.
yeah.
Tomorrow he burns to death.
And that's my fault.
Right now, yes.
As with every new companion, the Doctor has to explain the rules of time travel and how they can understand people speaking
Yeah,
Latin.
rules of time travel can be very iffy with fix events.
Me no speak Celtic. No can do missy.
It's the sort of thing that makes Doctor Who, with decades of continuity, easy for
Yeah,
someone
just
to jump into.
yeah,
You just pick a
basically,
companion
yeah,
or a doctor, and the series basics will be
touching
pointed
up
out
with
to you
that,
fairly quickly.
touching up with that,
As for holy
with In the Fires of Pompeii, the Doctor explaining what they can and can't do in certain moments in time. If they're in like a fixed point, they have to keep it like that. Especially in Rome, in Pompeii, they have to not interfere because slightest thing they can do can just change the course of reality. It's like the butterfly effect with Back to the Future. Change something, you change something in your future.
shit! Number 1, it's future Dr. Peter Capaldi, who was at this point starring as his other memorable character, Malcolm Tucker, in The Thick of It.
Snap the thumb and forefinger off of every single person I see.
And holy shit, number 2, future companion Karen Gillan.
Yeah.
Also comedian
You
Phil Cornwell,
you had
star Victoria Wicks. It's
a future Doctor and a future companion there.
Huge stakes.
Obviously, the
Earth
future
or
companion was
Pompeii,
first,
a decision the Doctor doesn't take lightly. And then there's the silly bit at the end where the laws of physics can't override the laws of drama and a watertight contract for a complete season. How the hell did they survive?
And then also, fun fact, the set that was used for the Soothsayer's Lair, that was also set for season 6.
Feel like an actual place rather than a BBC set.
If you didn't know that, if you didn't watch Confidential, you wouldn't have Karen Gillan go and say, "Oh yeah, I was."
Planet of the Ood answers some of the questions brushed aside in the Ood's first episodes. Namely, what's their deal? Oh, that's right, they're slaves.
They're slaves.
Well, the Doctor does what he does best and helps free the Ood. They've been commoditized, but the market is saturated.
Because he couldn't help the Ood last time because he had to go and leave him because he was dealing with the devil.
The Ood rebellion sees
which I'm
them
hoping
take out
comes
the
back
humans
in
who've been exploiting
New
them,
season.
reserving the
Either
choicest retribution
season
for
of
the
New
company's
seasons.
boss, not by killing
Either
him,
the first
but by
season or the
turning
second
him into
season.
an
I
Ood.
want
This is
the
known
devil
as
to come
Ood
back. I
pro
want
quo.
Nucci's
Tim
Doctor to
McEnany
see
was a
what he
serious
does
actor, but for
with the
many
devil.
will always be known for his
Does
role
he do
in
what
the Blackadder
David would
series.
have done?
The Ood, having been given such a tragic backstory, would kind of make it hard for them to appear as threatening creatures in future appearances. The Doctor makes a big deal of the Ood slavery in this episode, but completely overlooks
the Ood is more like a really interesting character to have.
Ood, where's the car?
I do not understand.
It's just the only thing that they would not the only con is that
so far, let's just get
if
this
they
out of
get
the way.
angry,
In this story, some
the
of the
eyes
Oods have
turn red.
names. Call me the Ood, or his Oodness, or Ooda, or El Ooderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing. The Sontaran Stratagem and the Poison Sky is a two-parter containing all that's great and all that's less so about the series at this time.
We have an intruder!
There's also the episode where we get classic villain coming back again.
Here they're back en masse with a ploy to turn the Earth into a cloning planet to churn out even more Sontaran warriors.
Because of their war with the mutants, which we later seen in Doctor Who Adventure
a slightly
with
nondescript
Matt
unit,
Smith
but
and
it's good to see
Karen
them.
and
The unit they show
Arthur.
here feels a bit like one of those
And
season
they were in
13
like
units
some
where
kind of,
Nicholas
I don't know what
Courtney
time
back as
period
the
it was, but
Brigadier.
yeah, it
So you've
definitely
got
did.
unit soldiers with a poor grasp of the concept of cover getting mown down by aliens. Yep, that checks out as a unit story. The Sontarans are able to nearly take over the planet thanks to a device that's been added to half of the world's cars, Atmos, which not only makes fossil fuel-based cars seem almost non-polluting, but upgrades their built-in sound systems with immersive object-based audio. The least successful story element here is Rattigan, the boy genius tech bro sociopath, a tautology if there ever was one, who wants to take his little
Yeah, he's
genius
kinda like
spirit
a
to another
evil
planet after
Elon
he does a
Musk.
deal with the Sontarans.
You can say Atmos system because it stands for atmospheric emission system. So you're saying atmospheric emission system. Do you see, Mr. Conditional Clause?
It's been a long time since anyone said no to you, hasn't it?
Donna's grandfather Wilf finally learns about the Doctor, while Donna's mum Sylvia is kept in the dark. The modern series has been happy to show us the people left behind by their companions. In the original series, if you met a companion's family members, they would usually be dead by the end of the first story.
Brett Bryan was my brother.
Well, in the modern show,
Really?
meeting the family members is handy. 'Cause whenever
See,
you
I
have
didn't
Earth
really
under
like
some form of
watch all
duress,
the
we can
classic
just cut
episodes.
to
I
the
would come
family
out and
members
say that I didn't
worrying in the
I did
corner,
not watch a
rather than cutting
single
to some rando in a terrace house.
every single
Chris
classic
Ryan, yes,
episode. I
Mike
only
from
seen
the
like
Young
the
Ones and
the
Kid
very
from the
first
original series is
episodes
the
with
new
the
Sontaran
companions, then
commander.
the
And
leaving
this
of the
story also
companions,
marks
then
Dan Starkey's first appearance as
the
a
new
Sontaran.
companions,
They're
and then
slightly comical,
the
just
last
slightly
episode with
comical, like
of
trying
that
to buy
said
something from
doctor.
Curry's without signing up for an extended warranty.
So
Having
yeah.
the Sontarans back is great, and for pretty much the first time in the show, we see more than a handful of them. They now wear blue armor and are of a more diminutive size.
You impugn my honor!
Yeah, I'm really glad you didn't say belittle, because then I'd have a field day.
But they also now have a well-developed sense of rhythm.
Come on, that scene was so cool. Sonta, ha, Sonta, ha.
Someday you've got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing we will rock you.
For the glory of Santa!
If I get
And then
copyrighted,
we get
motherfucker,
to
I'm
what
gonna
is-
sue your
oh,
ass.
well, I suppose it's easily the weakest episode of the fourth series. A story that seems to have started with this line
Hello, Dad.
and then just never really found what it was doing. The Doctor gets his DNA scanned and a clone called Jenny is made. And then there's a generations-long war that hasn't been running as long as everybody expected.
Yeah, 7
Martha
days.
goes off with this fella in an enemy mine type deal,
She's my daughter.
while Jenny does some cartwheels.
Who's
through
also
some
the
deadly
actress
lasers.
of your
Oh,
wife,
yes, I
is
mean,
your
I
wife,
once
who's
tried
the
to do
daughter, the
cartwheels
actual
through
daughter
security lasers in
of
a
the
van
Fifth
in
Doctor.
the middle of the night, but all I ended up doing was knocking the
So,
priceless vase
yeah.
off its pedestal. Jenny is played by Georgia Moffat, who is literally the Doctor's daughter since her father was the Fifth Doctor, Peter Davison, whose real name is Peter Moffat, who when he was the Doctor was also directed by somebody else called Peter Moffat. And then just to weird things up, Georgia
Oh,
Moffat
so
would
that's
later
why he
marry
had to change his
David
name.
Tennant,
He had to
whose
change his name to
favourite
Peter
Doctor is
Davidson because
also now
someone
his
was named Peter
father-in-law.
Moffat.
Oh no.
Even
Because there was
weirder,
one
of their
thing
sons,
why
Ty
that
Tennant, was in
Georgia
Game of
kept
Thrones
her
prequel,
last
The
name.
House of Dragons, with Tennant's successor Matt Smith, who, just to make an even more spurious link, also in this episode is actor Joe Dempsey, who would also appear on Game of Thrones as Gendry. Look, I know it's no fun
Oh!
fact about Wanda
I know
Ventham,
he's in
but
Game of
it
Thrones.
is certainly competitive. And it also has Nigel Terry, who was King Arthur in the classic film Excalibur.
You talk all the time, but you don't say anything.
I know.
The Doctor's daughter ends with the Doctor stopping the war that's lasted as long as a salad at an airport cafe.
That's true, 7 days.
And then Jenny goes off on her own adventures.
You missed. Hey, you missed a bit. King Arthur, the guy that played King Arthur, killed. Well, shot. Jenny, and therefore she died. So I think she missed. He missed out, and yeah, she
Appearance that is about
regained
as likely
consciousness,
as
and then
DB Cooper
there you go. And then
appearing
now
on
she's
This Is
making
Your
Big
Life.
Finish
It's
Oreos.
not completely terrible like
Shameless
an
plug,
asteroid strike,
the
but
Big
it is
Finish.
pointlessly annoying like a stone chip from a lawnmower breaking your bathroom window. The Unicorn and the Wasp sees the Doctor and Donna gay crash a party at a country house in the 20s, where they'll find two things: an Agatha Christie-style murder mystery and Agatha Christie herself.
Next thing you know, you'll be telling me it's like Murder on the Orient Express, and they all did it. Murder on the Orient Express? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Donna tries to get a co-creator credit, while the Doctor teams up with the mystery novelist on the cusp of a real-life mystery.
This was a good episode. Yeah, it was Agatha Christie going up against a giant wolf.
No policewomen in 1926.
I'll
Yeah.
clock you in a minute.
The episode is very slight. It's fun and silly in the first half, comedy for most of the time, and then the show remembers its science fiction, and this is where parts of it fall apart like an overstuffed taco. The Doctor
Oh,
queuing
shut
himself
up!
being
It's Doctor Who. It's what it meant to be. Okay, this is strike two now. This is now officially strike two now, because. Oh my God, this guy, he does not remember what's the name, Doctor Who. It's science fiction. It's made up. Well, not entirely, but yeah.
poisoned. Well, look, it's
Just-
good that David Tennant felt he could so readily commit himself
Oh,
fully to the character,
me.
I suppose. In the end, it's not all bad.
You're
mainly
just
because of the
trying
cast.
to
It's an
piss me
episode
off,
where the
pal.
viewer will do a double take.
You were doing
multiple
so
times.
well.
The show has
You were doing
Felicity
so well.
Campbell.
You were doing
It
so
also has
well.
Felicity Jones and for
Then it gets
longtime
the
Doctor Who
murder
fan,
mystery one, and then
Christopher
you just go
Benjamin,
and
who was
completely
memorable in some
shat
previous
it,
appearances in the show,
'cause it's
most
shite.
notably in Talons of Weng Chiang.
Piss off.
Shock, I need a shock. Right then. Big shock. Coming up.
This episode was good.
Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead is writer Stephen Moffat doing his Stephen Moffatiest for somebody else before he would finally take over the show from the 5th series. The Doctor and Donna arrive in a library in the far future, but everybody's gone. There are millions of life signs, but there are only 2 people. An expedition arrives led by archaeologist Dr. River Song.
Hello, sweetie.
Who seems to have met the Doctor several times, even if the Doctor has no memory of her.
Well,
yes, it's a horror.
Here's the thing with that. Technically, yes, the Doctor doesn't know who River Song is yet. He doesn't know who she really is until series 6. He doesn't know who she really is until series 6, until I think it was Good Man Goes to War. Or it was the Flesh two-parter. Then it became the Good Man Goes to War episode where the Doctor finally knows who River is. Obviously, yeah, if you want to go by River's story, technically the first episode you should watch would be, I think it's Let's Kill Hitler from series 6. You watch that one, then God knows what's next. I don't know what the full timeline is if you're trying to watch it through the episodes that the Doctor would know, or where the Doctor, where River is in an episode of Doctor Who. Because obviously there's these two. This would have been like the last episode you could watch out of River and the Doctor. Because the second last one would be the Christmas special with 12 and River, which was the Husbands of River Song.
Doctor Who, curing constipation for the show's most squeamish viewers, and it's also very emotionally manipulative. I mean, all good television is emotionally manipulative. I mean, if you truly want to feel nothing, you might as well be watching a test card or an episode of Coupling. Here, a lot of what we see feels calculated rather than instinctual.
Where am I?
You need to stop and feel sad here.
Hey, who turned out the lights?
You have to feel scared here. And that's before we treat the characters cruelly. Let's give Donna a family and take it away. Have the Doctor meet River and kill her off.
And I didn't recognise who that guy was as well. That's Vernon. It's Vernon. Vernon Gay, future, well, I would say was future presenter of Family Fortunes, but that's Gino. Maybe his name is, he's got that role now.
Away in the background.
Is alright special Time Lord code for really not alright at all?
We get a striking visual that's at first a bit innocent but really quite horrific, but is also something that doesn't make a lick of sense, like sticking a dead person's face on a statue, etc. Alex Kingston, of course, is always brilliant and watchable as Dr. River Song, who has a unique connection to the Doctor. It's worth paying attention
in the next series that I think this was her first series that she was in.
It's also taken
as I know.
For another former League of Gentlemen star to appear. This time it's Steve Pemberton. Tallulah Riley would later appear in Westworld.
Then it was Arrow.
Colin Salmon also appears.
Oh, you're not, are you? Tell me you're not archaeologist.
I didn't know Steve Pemberton was in the League of Their Own. The only show I knew that he was in was Benidorm.
Hard enough.
Sometime in the
Rest
future, I just
unknown.
give you my screwdriver.
Well, except for Dr. Moon, I'm pretty sure. Oh, he's in EastEnders now.
If that's what you're worried about.
I recognise
Stephen
he's in
Moffat was
EastEnders
also
now.
one of the few writers that Russell T Davies generally wouldn't feel the urge to rewrite. But the very important thing about Stephen Moffat's writing is that it's really just like a Pringle. One moth and you can't stop.
The Vashta Narada. Literally the shadows that melt the flesh.
From the rebooted show's second series, the production team had worked out a way to maximise their filming schedule, and one of those was to write an episode that didn't feature the main cast for the bulk of the show. In effect, they could set it up so 2 episodes could be filmed at once. This season they tried something different and split up the main team. Midnight is a simple episode that only needs a few effects, one set and some actors. In fact, the best special effect is David Tennant. Also, we are
best special effects, David Tennant, yeah. Technically, yes.
Cheap and affordable episode.
There's literally no special effects with it except for, say, the outside, the exterior of the Diamond Planet, the cruiser planet.
The annoying in-flight entertainment is sabotaged by the Doctor, and then they all have a merry chat, which is going along nicely until something goes horribly.
Everything else is all practical.
And some creature starts messing with
I was
their
just like
heads,
big blinding
setting
light.
everybody against each other. It's nice enough for the more
It's in
actory
close
stuff,
quarters
and
as
then the
well,
plot
so
just
everyone's
sort of
getting pissed
ends when
off as
Russell
well.
T Davies ran out of runway. There's the kid from Merlin, Colin Morgan, and
Yeah,
actor
the
David
main
Troughton,
character
who'd
from
appear in
Merlin.
Classic Who a few times, but he was also the son of the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton. The
Oh.
episode's director, Alice Troughton, is unrelated.
It's the son.
Also unrelated, reality and Uncle Reg's tax deductions. It does seem like a pretty awful sightseeing bus where one, the windows are closed.
I
because
bet
they're
you
ready to
David was
kill
like,
a light,
oh, I'm
and
working
because
with the
there's
son
a
of
creature
Patrick
that
Troughton,
threatens
the
to
second
take over
Doctor.
everyone.
Oh.
But look, it could be a lot worse. At the very least, it's not a Ryanair flight into Stansted.
For God's sake, run.
In some space
Turn
market,
left.
Donna
Not a
is
good one.
given a free reading by a fortune teller, which ends with Donna making a different
You've
choice
got
in life. Which means she doesn't
The
meet
fortune
Doctor,
teller
who
from
dies.
third season who played the alien that had like the
And then all of the
what was
major
it?
events threatening Earth take place without the Doctor being there to
had like
stop
the little
them.
antennae.
The Titanic does
Looked
actually
like
crash
a
into Earth
Star
and
Trek
makes
character.
southern England uninhabitable. Not going to touch that one. And Donna, Wilf, and Sylvia become refugees in the north. Truly a fate worse than... Look, I'm not going to touch that one either.
Why won't you tell me your name?
None of this was meant to happen.
Then Blondie shows up to tell Donna
Blondie
she can fix
shows up.
this, that an insect on her back
Truly
is doing
shitting on
something to time,
Billy Piper.
and the only way to sort it all out is to go back and make a left turn. Rose doesn't immediately identify herself to Donna. She does give her a message for the Doctor.
Bad wolf.
A 50-minute episode with just the companion was a unique thing to do. With
Yeah,
Donna
just
being
unique.
much more real here. She's not as
That Donna
argumentative
has
as
like
usual.
no
She's
memories
almost broken by
of
the end.
what
It's
happened.
a really solid
How
episode
she
that
got
sets
there.
up a big finale.
She said the stars are going out.
But not
But
just
then
the
when she
usual
started to
big
remember
finale,
and
but
that-
a really, really, really big finale that's so big, it's too big. But whatever you thought of previous finales, which were of course big, that's nothing compared to this season's ending, which is really, really big. The Stolen Earth and Journey's End is as big as the previous paragraph implies. We have planets being moved and the Daleks are up to no good. Dalek Khan is now a broken Dalek prophet, and the Daleks have once again fallen under the spell of their creator, Davros.
Welcome to my new
Davros
empire.
returns.
And in a
So-
story that feels suspiciously like it was meant to be David Tennant's swan song, but actually wasn't, the show brings back
Yeah,
everyone.
it did kind of felt
Starting
like
with
that
Billy Piper
after
and
that
female
episode. It
agent.
felt like
But
that
why
this was
stop
supposed to be
there? There's
David's
Mickey
last
and Jackie,
episode,
some
and
folks from Torchwood, some
we'd have
folks
gone
from the Sarah
eventually
Jane
Matt
Smith
Smith, but
adventures. And
obviously, I think
Davros
Dave
is
was
back.
like, no, I'm
Julian
staying
Beach
on
channels the best
for a
efforts
couple more
played by Michael
episodes.
Wisher and gives us
I'm
an
staying on.
excellent 21st century version of the character, who is incredibly creepy, creepier than staying in an Airbnb that somehow
Yeah,
has 36 GoPros
he
on the
was
same Wi-Fi.
absolutely scary, but the makeup, seeing the makeup behind the scenes on Doctor Who Confidential was
In order to get
amazing.
everything
It
in,
looked
the
good,
episode
the
moves at a
prosthetics was
fairly
good.
solid clip,
Guy
rarely
that's
stopping for breath or to
in
collect
that.
their thoughts, or even just to have a
And
drink
he
of
also appeared
water.
in
I
Sarah
mean,
Jane
seriously,
Adventures. He
people,
played
dehydration is no joke. Just ask Davros.
the Nightmare Man.
Okay, so Davros and the Daleks.
So you
have
get to
moved
see
a
the
bunch of
guy
planets
out
including
of
Earth,
out of
which
the
will help them to use
costume,
a weapon called the
but into a
reality
different
bomb, which is
costume, but
basically
not
just to
covered in
kill every other
prosthetics.
life
He was
form
only
that's
like
not a Dalek.
it was only
So
like
obviously
white makeup.
my personal nemesis,
But yeah, you
Alex
could
Snowy,
see the
is
guy
saved.
playing
These
Davros
episodes
without
have very long sections
being
of
in
Zoom
the
calls
Davros
with
chair.
video chats, and then lots of people furiously
And
tapping
as well as
away
that,
at
if you've seen the
keyboards.
Children Need
Now, you can tell these
episode
episodes were
before
filmed in
the 16th
2008
came out,
and not the
you would have
2020s,
seen
because
the guy that played
otherwise it would
Davros
sound something more
walking
like
about.
this.
Because Russell made a change to Davros not
Must be
being
using Cherry MX Blues, maybe a
disabled
Gator
anymore.
on Blue. It's building and building, but building to what? Something loud and messy, like a canteen in a dynamite factory. The Doctor catches a glancing blast from a Dalek, doesn't need to fully regenerate, passes the energy on into that hand, you know, the one he lost in the Christmas invasion that was hung onto by Torchwood, recovered by the Doctor, and then later on, Donna, who's apparently for this episode only the most important person in the universe, is in the TARDIS when the Daleks try to destroy it. She touches the hand and something happens, and then we've got another Doctor, a biological meta-crisis.
You're naked.
Biological meta crisis, yes.
Which goes two ways. When
First,
Donna gets the Doctor's
technically
intelligence and saves the day
bi-generated
when no one
Doctor.
is looking.
But he's half that version, that Doctor there is half human, half Time Lord, so he can't regenerate, he can grow old, but
The universe is saved. Everyone goes home, but
he
Donna
still
is
stays
basically
the
dying
same.
from too much information.
So it's perfect for
which is
Rose.
pretty much the same as reading Derek from Work's Facebook feed. The only cure, wiping her memory of the Doctor.
You can't mention me or any of it.
Rose Tyler
But
finally gets
wait.
her way, and the duplicate Doctor is hers if she wants. So he is the 10th Doctor with all of his memories and personality, but
Yeah.
he's not a perfect digital backup. It's DW, not WD. He's more of a VHS copy, one generation away from the master tape with some quality loss. After Russell T Davies had gotten rid of the Time Lords because they were old hat, he realised too late that they did serve a story purpose and made up his own version, the Shadow Proclamation, to do all the sorts of powerful things that had
which was mentioned in other episodes. It was mentioned in Chris's first episode. Mentioned in many other episodes as well. And then we actually finally get to see the Shadow Proclamation.
In this story, David Tennant has found his version of the Spice Girls.
Is that good or bad?
There's Ginger Spice, Baby Spice, Scary Spice, Posh Spice, Sporty Spice, and their opening act,
Harriet Jones, former Prime Minister.
But as this is a Dalek story, it's a perfect segue to this.
Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really,
really, dude.
So tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Oh, God. I feel like I'm gonna get copyrighted from this, from that music, so fuck you.
Part of this works really well. It is very nice to see Sarah Jane Smith and Davros have a moment of recognition.
Yeah, because last time Sarah Jane and Davros met was in the Genesis of the Daleks.
Russell T Davies needed somebody who could kill off. Rose and Martha are back with their families. K9 even pops up out of the blue for 10 seconds. These episodes want to wrap up.
And you have Torchwood as well, so yeah, you got that.
The renewed series. But having the story work up into the end of everything, you then have to write yourself out of this corner. So the second clone doctor seems purely there so we can go off with Rose Tyler, a lifelike doctor with realistic skin and real hair.
Some really great hair.
Yes, at times it feels like a blaze at a fireworks factory, colourful and loud, with a plot that hangs together about as well as a pair of married acrobats going through a messy divorce. But at the same time, I just can't take my eyes off it. So, mission accomplished. I really do love the fact that director Graham Harper was still working on Doctor Who after having helmed a number of episodes of both the modern show and the classic series.
Oh, what? He was in classic? I think the episodes I was watching probably didn't have any Graham Harper doing the episodes.
And Michael Brandon briefly appears, and you wouldn't know it without looking him up, but he is one of the luckiest buggers on the planet.
Didn't I ever tell you? Best temp.
Yeah, he is English. I retract my statement saying you're not English.
Genius burning bright to fix everything in a minute.
I thought he was American.
Dr. Donna.
This season was.
But I still retract my statement. I still retrain my statement saying that he might not have been a true Thunderbirds fan. Because everyone loves Doctor. Everyone knows Doctor, so he should know Doctor Who's also well.
Which was then thrown away with little payoff.
You saying bees are aliens?
Don't be so daft. Not all of them.
As the running gag of the Doctor and Donna constantly denying they're a couple.
Oh no, we're not married.
Yeah, we're not a couple.
No wedding ring.
Donna, being so strident, was eventually diagnosed by the Doctor in the final episode.
The most important woman in the whole wide universe.
She still is. She's my daughter.
Of course she
Maybe
is.
you should tell her that once in a while.
I liked Donna as a companion. She was something very different from the series. And of course, her being from Chiswick confuses American fans.
God damn it, what's a Chiswick?
Donna had an actual arc, which was more than just exploring the galaxy and then slowly falling in love with the Doctor. When we first met Donna, she was so wrapped up in whatever was in her head that she managed to ignore things like, aliens appearing in the sky, massive invasions and the like. Then her eyes were open to a wider universe, and
she was widening to a wider universe of Doctor Who.
The Doctor, one where she had the life she always wanted, and another where everything turned to shit. Can you guess which is which?
Still could be worse.
Oi, watch it, Spaceman.
Boy, watch it, Earth Girl.
Oi, watch it, Earth Girl.
Yeah, for a brief moment she was the most special person in the universe, manipulated by a rogue Dalek, and after all of this ended up losing all memory of the Doctor. Brilliant and quite sad at the same time.
But she does remember if you have seen the 60th, yeah.
But at the
Spoilers
same time,
for that.
there's nothing wrong with actually killing a companion off, or just letting them go home. Murray Gold's music is still fantastic, with his theme for Donna being one of his best motifs in the series.
Right. Next one is the next Doctor. Oh no, Summary didn't do the Christmas special for that one.
There's also his first remix of the Doctor Who theme, itself a remix of the original Doctor Who theme. And for me, this is his very best arrangement of the show's signature tune. For this series, I loved a lot of it. There are bits that I'm not as keen on. There are a few moments where logic took a holiday in Brazil but got lost in the rainforest. On balance, though, it works, mostly. The people the show was aimed at, family audiences,
To me,
lapped it up.
I
And it
really
would have made for
loved
a great
Series
ending
4.
to the Russell
Everything
T
was
Davies
fine
era,
with it.
and for
Yeah, there's a
David
few
Tennant's
episodes I would
reign as the
hit or
Doctor.
miss, but
But
if I
Stephen
had to
Moffat was coming on
rewatch
board
it
as Doctor
again,
Who's new
because
showrunner, but his fourth season wouldn't be ready until
Doctor Who
2010,
did a thing
potentially leaving
before
a
the
year without
60th
new
came
Doctor
out,
Who,
or before
which
the
seems quite
first
late
episode
now.
I think came
However,
out.
we would get a series of specials,
Was that they
beginning
did a
with the
watch along
2008 Christmas special
of
and
Series
ending
4.
with David Tennant finally
Not
regenerating
not
in early
not
2010.
including
like my solution to
the
Landau's
end of
problems,
time
that's a story for another
or the
day.
Christmas
Catherine
episodes.
Tate would
It was
return to Doctor Who,
just
along with Tennant for a series of specials celebrating the series' 60th anniversary.
All of Series
But
4.
for those upcoming
Except for the
2009
Christmas
specials,
special.
the Doctor would have a different
So, yeah.
companion each episode. And along the way, the Doctor would become high on his own supply.
I don't want to go.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Leave
Well,
a comment
I
below,
would
or check
say,
out some of our other videos.
say, with only having 2 strikes, you're lucky, because you did retract your you did say that that the re-recognizing the Donna, because you did say new companion. You said new companion twice, which kind of mucked me off. Saying, oh, the Doctor, well, not re-recognizing, but introducing a new companion. It's not a new companion. It's the same companion that came back. But yeah, so yeah, he did not bad. He is English, so I'm sorry if I did say to you that you weren't English or whatever. You weren't British, you weren't Scottish, that knows about British culture, TV like Thunderbirds and Doctor Who. You may know Doctor Who, which is good. You actually have done Series 2, so that's good. You must have did Series 3 maybe somewhere in your channel. You did Series 1. You actually done the classic episodes, the classic Who, which is fine. Trying to find you did Series 3. Wonder if you did like New Who as well. If you did Series 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9, 10, 11, 12. So I wonder if he did that. I'll look for that. But all in all, he's done not bad with Series 4. I was expecting a lot worse. I was going in heads over heels saying he's going to say so much bad things about Doctor Who. But he didn't. It surprised me. It absolutely surprised me, which I'm happy with. But I don't know. You did good. Yeah, an okay YouTuber. I will put up my previous statement saying that I did kind of go in I would have went in I was in the verge to go into a rant with you, but I was like, no, I wouldn't, because you're not really a bad person. You just need to know your facts. You need to know your facts properly when saying something, particularly with Thunderbirds. But I did agree with him with most things, honestly. Yeah, he kept on going back to the usual jokes, trying to make cheap jokes, which maybe that's his channel thing. He goes back to cheap jokes, which completely fine. It can all go over it easily, but yeah. Or no, he did very good with each and every episode. He did put on the two-parters into like one big thing, one big talking point. One thing I didn't was quite, what's the word? Was a bit surprised he didn't do the specials, which I have right here on Blu-ray. So yeah, the specials. He didn't do the specials. He didn't do. He didn't do. Pretty sure it would be here somewhere. Yeah, you didn't do the Next Doctor. You didn't do the Planet of the Dead, and Waters of Mars and the End of Time. Obviously, I don't have the Waters of Mars in here because I've already got it in my Xbox. Because that's my literally favourite out of the specials. The Next Doctor was kind of mid. Same with Planet of the Dead. The Waters of Mars and the End of Time parts 1 and 2 were fantastic. They were good episodes, especially part 2, which was a sad one. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. He was really good. I would say that. I'm not going to fault him that. Yeah, he should not talk about anything that's good about it anymore because he's a horrible, horrible person. No, not like that. No, you just need to get his facts right. And with Thunderbirds, particularly with that movie, because like I said, I grew up with Thunderbirds. I watched the original Thunderbirds before watching the film, and the comment that he goes and says is that the film was made for people who haven't seen Thunderbirds. It may have been, but a lot of people have seen Thunderbirds before seeing the movie. So they may not want to go and see a movie because by that time, everyone didn't have not enough time going to cinemas and that. A lot. Maybe a few folk, maybe, but near a lot. Near a lot of folk at that time because they were busy with the kids. They were busy with their jobs and that. They couldn't really get a day off or go on out on the weekend with their kid, go and see Thunderbirds. No, it wasn't like that. No, it's days. But yeah, other than that, did a good episode. You did a good thing. So hope you enjoyed this episode of me reacting to another one of his videos about Doctor Who. I don't need to do series 1 to 3 with him because I just wanted to see what his view on was for series 4, and obviously it was good. It's good stuff. So you did good. With Thunderbirds, I would do that review again, but much more nicer way of saying it than with your cheap jokes and that. So yeah. So until that, see you next time. Next video will be coming out. Well, by the time this video, these two videos will be coming out whenever I feel like. So when you see me again, it will be with part 2 of Batman Arkham Knight, but it might already be out at this time. So until then, we'll see you next time. Bye.